xxLynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'll take my glasses off because I don't need them at this distance. Thankfully, I have always had good eyesight. That's not anything I did, but I was just blessed with good eyesight, as were my children. But as I've gotten older, I need reading glasses. Anyway, I wanted to say hello and talk for just a few minutes. I've got several different clips to share with you. One is, it's funny to me because I didn't get hurt, but there was a walk that Jason and I took on the Eno all the way back in February. It was February 17th. I looked at the date. It seems impossible that it has been, well, I think we took a walk since then, but it's been almost that long since we've been able to walk. I think perhaps we went on a short walk right before I was furloughed and all of this stuff started happening with the pandemic. And I was furloughed March 18th. And I want to say something about that. I've still not gotten unemployment compensation. So my last paycheck was March 18th, and I'm okay. I am very grateful for orders that I've had and for help that I have received. I'm doing good. And I just got word that hopefully the scrap exchange will be opening again in June, this month, in a very pared down form as far as staff goes, which breaks my heart. I don't believe all of us will be going back. I'm hopeful that I can get back into my same position. I was the head of paper, and we get a ton of donations. A lot of paper donations, a lot of ephemera. We have a lot of artists in our area, and we get a lot of just paper. We get donations sometimes from companies who print invitations, and that's where some of my vellum has come from, these pieces that have the two holes punched in the top. And I paid for them. I try to price things reasonably and competitively for the store. We are a thrift type store, but I don't get to just take things. I don't have first dibs either, which I love. I was a customer there, starting. The scrap exchange opened in 1991, I believe, and I started shopping there almost at the very start. I believe that's the year because Joseph was a baby, and yeah, I think that's right. I should know. My memory is not what it used to be. Just when I think of the scrap exchange, I think of nearly 30 years of wonderfulness, and my hat will always be off to the people who worked to found it and to get it going and to get permanent land for it. What was I saying? Oh, I've been a customer there for years and years before I ever started working there. So it warms my heart that the customers get first dibs. We are allowed to shop there as employees, but something has to be on the sales floor for 24 hours before we can buy it. And I like that. If I couldn't shop there, I don't know if I could work there, because it is a wonderful resource for artists, and I do like having access to that. Anyway, I am rambling. What was I saying? Oh, hopefully I will be able to go back to work this month. In the meantime, I don't even know how to describe where I am personally. First of all, you all know that it's like a light bulb switched on in my head and in my heart saying it's time to move forward. It's time to cut your attachment to past pain. It's time to trust. It's time to embrace every single day with what you love. Over the last few years, in some areas of my life, now not with Jason, I honestly believe he is an answer to prayer. I really believe that. God knows my prayers and the hurt that I've been through and what I have struggled through. We don't see other people's struggles. Many times we don't see the hurt that goes on behind closed doors. And anyway, I feel like in the past few years I've settled. I've just settled. Now, not with Jason. Jason is, everyone deserves someone as good and kind as him. Everyone. But in other areas of my life, I love a certain style of clothing. I love certain colors. I love to be surrounded by a certain aesthetic. And in my old house, I was working to achieve that. Now, I didn't have a lot of money to go out and shop. I didn't do that. I didn't shop at high-end stores. I had everything I needed. I was very thankful that we were fed. We had a roof over our heads. We were able to provide for all 4 children. And I think my children turned out great. They have grit. They do. They've been given what they needed. And when there was extra, they got extra. But they've also seen us work really hard. They've had some hard knocks. They've seen struggle. And they were expected to behave, and they were expected to work. So, and they were loved. Let me tell you, I loved my babies. To me, if a baby's crying, it needs to be held. We could get into other tangents. I had, my babies slept with me because I nursed all of them, and I also had to work. So, and that was fine with my family doctor, and that was fine with my husband. That's something that we agreed upon. I was the one getting up through the night. And, yes, there are thoughts of rolling over on the baby. Some people say, oh my goodness, that's so dangerous. But I have read in cultures where babies sleep with their mothers, there is less crib death. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just rambling, which is something that I need to do these days. Lately, though, I've been settling in the sense that I don't, like if I were to be out at a thrift store and see a really pretty piece of ceramic, like crockware or something that would be suitable to put kitchen utensils in and put it on the counter. In my old house, before all of the hurt, before leaving and just almost losing my mind, truly, I would have thought nothing of saying, oh yeah, look, that beautiful crock is $3. That would be perfect. It's covered in roses. It would be so beautiful in the old house. I'm taking it home. I'm going to, donate the old one and use the new one. Over the past few years, I've just looked at things like that and said, what's the point? I've moved 7 or 8 times, or 5 or 6, however many times it was. Let's see, I can count. I moved 6 times now in 10 years. But I've been stable here for a while. So it was like 6 moves in 7 years. And then I count it as being 7 moves because I also opened and closed a retail store during the last 5 years. And I would have kept that open, but the shopping center that it was in was under contract to be sold. And it was in a place where there were a lot of antique stores, very, very beautiful old town. And unfortunately, time marches on. There are a lot of antique stores there that are going to be bulldozed. They closed, they're empty. So anyway, that's been a lot of moving, and I've let go of a lot of things. A lot of things that I loved, things that I didn't have the money to go out and buy, but rather over the course of years of, hitting the pavement, going to yard sales, going to thrift stores, saving my money and splurging on things for, Mother's Day or Christmas or whatever. Things that I accumulated with care and with time, they were lost. They were given away because more than once I had to move in a hurry, and I had gotten to the point where I was saying, what's the use? But we cannot be like that. We cannot be like that. You know, I don't need to settle for things that I look at and I don't like if I can choose other things. And I don't say that in a haughty way. I don't say that in the sense of I'm going to have everything I want. I've never been like that, and I'm not like that now. And especially when I look at the situation our country is in, I want that for myself, and I want it for my brothers and sisters of every color. I want everyone to have what they need. I want everyone to be equal. It's just a shame. Mistreatment is just, it's wrong. But getting back on track with me, so I feel like I've been out of control in a way. I've been very careful with some things because I've been self-protective. I've been closed in some ways because I've been hurt so badly, and in other ways I've been very careless. I've accepted things that I don't like, material things. Now I love it here. I've told you Jason has really good taste, but when he has pronounced to me, this is your home, do what you want to, bring in what you like, I need to do that for me. I need to do that for me. And I love clothes. I love to play with clothing. Like, you know, let me show you one of the things I did this morning. And you might not like this. I like it. I love to dress in layers, especially as I'm getting older. This is a dress / slip that is thrifted, and it's sheer, so it needs something to go over it. And I have this little black dress that can go over it, and this whole outfit is really cool temperature wise, but it does cover me. Now I need to work on my arms. There was a time when I was going to the gym and keeping my arms in shape, and believe me when I say, if you don't do that, you'll hit an age where your arms kind of lose their, you know, whatever. But I didn't like the straight line of this black dress over this, because this is let me pull out my handy chair, because this has the pointed edges. It's like a Stevie Nicks vibe. So all I did was to pull this dress up, there's lint, in a couple of places, and use a safety pin to pin some little flower petals. I love to do things like that. So one of the things I'm doing, and this is one of the reasons you haven't heard from me as far as adding more packs or journals for sale, and oh my goodness, I feel terrible, but the image zine, it's coming out soon, and I know everybody's not banging down the door saying, where is it? But I want to do it. I want to publish it. I love the image zines. I use them, and I have so many thoughts. My mind is just overflowing with thoughts. But I have decided I'm going through all of my things. I am donating or recycling or discarding or repurposing things that I have that I don't like. I'm getting rid of the things. If I don't love it, if I don't absolutely love it, or if it doesn't have a very useful purpose, it is gone. Life is too short to carry around things that you might use, or things that you don't dislike, but they also don't make you say, oh my gosh, I love this. I've done even a few little things in here, like the curtain that was around this little door. I replaced it. I liked what was there, but I didn't love it. What's up there now, I love it. Every time I look at it, I think, oh, it's so shabby, and it's got big roses on it. I love it. So I think I've rambled enough. Again, this video has got some varied content. This footage from the walk on the Eno, I fell, and I think it's hilarious, and I have to explain to you what's going on. It was cool because it was February, and we were walking. It was very late in the day. It was almost sunset, but we still had light to see. And Jason wanted to go up this really, really big hill, and he just took off and went straight up. Well, I had been lingering looking at some things, and He was so far away at this point. I mean, he could have heard me if I had really raised my voice, but we were definitely not within talking distance with a normal voice. So I headed up that hill, and I was kind of grumbling and mumbling, and I stepped on a log that just disintegrated under my feet, and I just fell, and I kind of rolled. I mean, it could have been bad because there were a lot of rocks on that hill, and the hill was really steep. It's even more steep than what it looks like in the video, but I have been thinking ever since that walk, I've got to share that with everybody because it's so funny. It's just, anyway, that's on there. Some of my, I think I made the herbal tea on this one, and there's some wildlife. Not sure what all else is on here, but I've heard you about the pantaloons. I'm going to make some more of those. I'm so excited about that, and I wore them all day yesterday. I even had to run get something from the grocery store, and there's a lady in the parking lot who called me sweetheart, and she said, honey, that is so cute. She said, you look really comfortable, and that's what I'm aiming for with those. I'm not aiming for sleek and streamlined. Those are old-fashioned. They're very simple, they're country, and they're comfortable. So I'm going to make some more of those, and as soon as I'm able, I will come back with that. Other things on the list, I want to bring back the fun packs, the weekly fun packs. I have cleaned out, I have gotten rid of so many things in this workshop because I've brought a lot into the workshop. You know, I've been saying for months that we're going to condition this space, and we're doing everything we can, and that's all going to be taken care of. Not in a big way. This, I don't mean construction, but a window unit, you know, putting little things that we can into corners to help cut down on drafts and things like that. So I'm going to go. I'm sure there's more that I could ramble on about, but I won't. And thank you for everyone being here. Thank you to new subscribers. I really appreciate you being here. I enjoy meeting all of you, and we have a wonderful group of people here. We really, really do. So feel free to chime in, and I hope everyone is well. And I will see you at the end of the video, probably walking away. We could be crazy. We're going up the side of this hill where these rocks are. Look at this. I don't know if you can really see how steep this is. This is when it's nice to have a walking stick. It's going to be interesting coming back down because I am walking at about a 45-degree angle to the ground. Oh, and it's going to be dark soon. That's what happens when you step on a rotten log. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is about 10 a.m. I've just finished my coffee, and I'm making some herbal tea, and I wanted to show you what I do. These are a couple of canisters of loose leaf tea. There's peach lemon and lavender Earl Grey. This one, of course, has black tea, so it's going to have some caffeine. They're both really beautiful teas. They have a really good flavor. They're the Harris Teeter brand, which is the store brand, and HT Traders. I love to buy the generic or store brand when I'm able to. Usually the price is better, and I have always found the quality to be really good for most things. I love these little containers, by the way. When they're empty, I save them for my craft room because you can set them in a shelf and see what is inside the container. You can set them on their side like that. The last few times I have made the peach tea, so I'm going to do lavender today. And I'm going to put about 4 scoops because that is a large jar. And once I add the water to that, and after it sits and steeps and gets strong, it's going to go into a larger pitcher to which I will add water, and it won't be so strong. Something I hope to do again, and something that I always used to do, was to grow my own herbs. Now, the yard here is a little different. I had basically a cottage garden in my old house, my old garden, and I had a lot of what people would call weeds in the backyard. We had an open yard, and we did have some big old trees, but I had a lot of dandelions. I had nettles. What else did I have? A beautiful clover. I had the large pink clover, and then just regular chickweed, abounding chickweed. Wonderful things to make infusions. I don't have that here currently. I don't have that here yet. At some point, maybe I will have some of that in the backyard. But you can buy loose herbs to use in your tea. And this is a bag of nettles that I bought at Whole Foods. Now, if you're lucky like I am, there will be some really talented and experienced herbalists in your area who grow plants just for tinctures and to sell bulk ground herbs. Anyway, I've added a couple of spoons of nettles in here, and we're just going to go ahead and pour this boiling water over everything, and I'll let that sit for a few hours, and I'll come back when it's ready to strain. I always feel better if the jar is sitting on something. Not that it would catch all of this if the jar happened to break, but I feel like the chances of it getting bumped are a little bit less if it's sitting on something like that. And I don't know, maybe it's just me.